So I never thought I would be a guy that would be negotiating with prime ministers and talking to people about what is the cost of human life. I mean, literally, what is the cost of this human life?
You wouldn't have foreseen that when we were playing Britney Spears records?
No, I didn't
Really?
see it.
Huh.
I didn't see it.
That's weird, because I thought this was inevitable.
Yeah, did you?
Back then.
Yeah, a lot of people saw this one coming. And it has been, I talked to somebody else who is involved in this, in her own way. Emily Miller. I talked to her this weekend, and she's having a difficult time because she's seeing she gets all of these, emails and passports and everything. Can you help get me out? And we had a long conversation about how people like us are not equipped to see the names and the stories of thousands of people and know they may not get out. And we're like, no, just get them out. How do we get them out? And once you get into it, it's extraordinarily difficult, especially when the most powerful nation on earth is blocking you every step of the way. And this State Department has blocked us. Now, it's my understanding that the State Department helped at the last minute on one of these planes. I got to be really careful. But I'm talking historically, they have blocked us every single step of the way. Uzbekistan, as I just told you a minute ago, we had that ready to go. And we had, I believe it would have been clearly, what we had planned. I think that would be clearly by far the largest private airlift in human history. It was astounding. And it was ready. It was literally within 3 hours to go. And the ambassador from the United States to Uzbekistan said, you can't let that happen. You can't let these planes land. And so they called it off.
Giving no reason for that?
Nope.
Wow.
No reason. And it's really difficult to find countries to even let a plane land if you don't have the State Department's approval. Because the State Department has to say, in so many words, but this happens all the time. This is a regular thing that happens. Every military plane, everything needs this kind of permission. And it just basically says, we vouch for the people running this plane and that it's not human trafficking and it's good. Well, they wouldn't give us any of those clearances. And when they would give us clearances, we would get them and they'd be expired. So your plane can take off at 8 o'clock. We would get it at 9 p.m. And we'd be, well, what do you, it's expired. Oh, crap. Did we get that too late? Oh, shoot. That's the good, happy parts of working with the State Department. The others are just clear blocks. So we had this all planned, and then they blocked us. And now how do we get them out? So we had another plan, and we were blocked on that. So we wrote to the ambassador of Pakistan. I never expected to get a letter back from, when I was told, Glenn, you're the guy who should write this. I'm like, okay, I don't know really much about Pakistan. I don't know anything. I'm probably not the guy to be doing this. He'll take a letter from you. Does he know I'm kind of a clown and really don't have, he'll take it from you. So I wrote the letter that I just posted a few minutes ago. And in a few minutes, I will post the letter I got back. And he pledged his support. And everybody was celebrating. I was like, well, okay. Right? Everything's good, right? Right? I don't fit in the room, honestly, with all these people. Mm-hmm. And they said, well, let's see what he can do. So the last 2 weeks, he has been moving mountains. And I think to personal risk to himself. And I've done some homework on this guy. He is the number 2 cricket player in the world. He was educated in Cambridge and saw what his country was doing and saw that his country was a military-run country and said it really shouldn't be run by the military. And he's trying to balance things out and trying to change Pakistan. At least that's my understanding. And if you have a different understanding, don't tell me, okay? Anyway, so that's my understanding of who he is. But he has to balance because some of the people are deeply in bed, not just with the old Taliban, the new Taliban. And the new Taliban is with ISIS and bad. And so there's all kinds of influences. And, you know, that country is really important that it doesn't fall into the wrong hands because they have nukes. And I do believe that he understands that. And I do believe that he's trying. We're not going to agree on everything by any stretch. But all I want to say about him is thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for what you've done. If it wasn't for the Pakistani prime minister, none of these planes would be taking off today. None of them. They're even letting us use their airspace. We were kind of going to cut some corners, and then the State Department strangely told Iran about it. And so we couldn't cut any corners or do anything. And we actually had to then figure out, once he got permission, we had to figure out where can we land this plane. So we reached out to our friends in Georgia, and Georgia is a great country that they get the whole communism and everything else. And they said, we'll take the planes. So we had to fly him to Georgia, and you can't fly. Cam Air is the official airline from Afghanistan. It can't land in Western countries. And so you can't get permission to land that plane in Western countries. So we had to go someplace. So we had to get him on the ground in the middle of the night in Georgia. Then we asked the government of Ukraine, can you help us get Ukrainian airlines to loan us a plane and pick these guys up? So the Ukrainians were involved, getting a second plane, which then took this one group to Portugal, where Portugal had been prepared by the FIFA people, the soccer people, because the girls, we don't have, it's sketchy right now. I am not sure exactly how many girls. I mean, I have the name, I have the manifest, but it's 32 of the FIFA female athletes and their families. And we're not sure if everyone got out at this point. I was told they did, but then I was told this morning, maybe not. I'm not sure. But that's how we got them. That's how we got them out. And I want you to read my letter. I just posted it on Instagram and Twitter. I want you to read that because you'll understand there's much, much, much more to this story. This is one plane that we are talking about that got out this weekend.
What if you told the State Department you're only evacuating Guatemalans from Afghanistan?
They would let us fly them right directly into the United States.
Right here, straight here.
Yeah, if I had Haitians, I could fly them into Oklahoma.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
I mean, I found it so ironic that the State Department and the United States government and this White House have blocked us for weeks to get not only these girls out, but also Americans. And there's some news coming on Americans. But they've blocked us over and over again. And then while I'm on the phone with this, I look up at the TV and I see these giant gray tails picking up people on our border. What? And they're flying them where? What? I mean, I can't believe it.
They're taking off every 30 minutes for the next 72 hours.
Wow,
is my understanding.
That sounds like that sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Every 30 minutes?
Yes.
There's some
For 72 hours?
Yes.
Wow, I wonder where they got that plan.
Yeah. I'd like to know as well.
Gosh.
There's some question as to Haiti trying to block some
Amazing.
of the flights, which is really
Yeah.
incredible.
Well, we don't want him back.
They're like, yeah.
Okay.
We're kind of, I don't know if anyone's been following the news. We've had some of our issues of our own recently
couple.
and don't necessarily need an additional
15,000
people
Haitians
right
who have
this
not been
moment.
checked, or we don't know the health status, or
Yeah.
whatever else is going on.
You know, we're currently blocking our prime minister from leaving the country because we think he might have killed the last one. So
that's not a
right
problem, is it?
now,
No,
maybe not
no,
our
no.
best time for new visitors. You know,
I don't think these people are. Do you think that they fly to Mexico, or are these people that have already fled their country and were living?
Yeah.
they believe it's a mix. They believe, you know, they're like, oh, well, many of them may be Haitians that had previously settled in Venezuela. I'm like, oh, great.
Well, that makes it way better.
much
doesn't it?
better.
Yeah.
They got a little Venezuelan influence before heading to our border.
And now they're living under a bridge in Texas.
A beautiful
that's
bridge.
A beautiful bridge.
Oh, you don't know
It's a beautiful-
property at that underneath that bridge.
It's worth dollars.
Oh my gosh.
Almost.
It's
It's
really
almost worth dollars.
It's hard. It's hard to get property there, especially this time of year.
Yeah,
very
it's
hard to
very
get
hard.
property there.
And they did say that many of them were leaving and crossing the Rio Grande back into Mexico
Oh,
to get
sure.
food.
Oh, yeah,
And then
going
they
back
would-
and forth.
And then they would just come back across. It's like,
Yeah.
maybe if they leave, we don't let them cross again.
Yeah.
I mean, we know where they are.
Well, I've seen it.
maybe just an idea. Maybe when they leave, it's like a concert. No re-entry.
You got to have a stamp to get back in on your hand. Did you see the video with the Haitians
Hang on,
running up the...
wait. Before we get to that, may I just ask, do you think that there were any Haitians that may have been living in like Panama, that once they said they were going back to Haiti, everybody on the plane, they were like, no, because we're going back to Panama.
Go back to
Panama. I mean, there had to be a lot that were like, I don't want to go to Haiti. No. You don't know what Haiti's like. I lived there for a while. We don't want to go back.
No. There's so many of them running up. There's a video of a bunch of Haitians crossing the Rio Grande and Border Patrol agents on horseback trying to stop them. And there's just so many of them that compared to the border agents that they just overwhelm the system, and there's no way you can stop
Wow,
them.
overwhelm the system.
Overwhelm the
That's
system.
the other plan that I've heard before. Where did I hear overwhelm the system?
Doesn't sound familiar.
That's weird. And I have to thank the great governor of our state for putting every state. I was driving just to the grocery store at 170 miles an hour because there ain't a cop anywhere to be found on the highways of Texas because they're all down on the border. I don't know if you saw those pictures.
It's lined.
But it was the state that protected our nation, not the U.S. government.
Because they won't do it.
They won't do it. And so it was the state. Yes, you're welcome, America. Our tax dollars went to protect all of America, not just our state. It's insane what's going on.